Hello, my name is Natalie Freeman and I am the UEA Award Officer with Career Central. This is a short video just to introduce you to the Discover programme, and hopefully by the end of this video you will have a really good idea about what the Discover programme is, who it's going to be aimed at, and how it is linked to the UEA Award and what the differences are between the two. So the Discover programme has been developed in response to a growing need for students to have reflective skills in both their academic and extracurricular areas of their lives, and to hone that skill and be able to reflect on all of the activities that they are doing. The programme is automated and students can progress at their own pace. They will be able to find Discover linked from My Career Central as well as on Blackboard, but we will give specific details about exactly where on Blackboard that will sit nearer the start of the new semester. So when students log on to the Discover programme, they will find this introduction alongside an animated video which will explain the purpose of the programme, how the programme works, and how to structure their short reflections. The programme is split into categories, which we will look at in a moment, that are based on UEA Award attributes. And after they have completed each category, there is a section where they can type a short reflection using the structure that we use on the UEA Award. So I will show you that in a moment. So before I go on to talk about how the programme works and what it looks like, we will be primarily aiming the programme at new starters and highly encouraging them to take part in the programme. It will not be compulsory, but as I say, we will be encouraging them to work through the programme as part of the extracurricular element of their studies. Other students in other year groups, though, will be eligible to work through the programme, particularly if they haven't already been through the UEA Award, because it's a valuable process to go through for all of our students. But we're hoping that we'll get to a point in the next few years where the majority of students will have completed the Discover programme quite early on in their first year, so that it gives them that grounding for reflecting on everything that they're doing and realizing that actually all of the activities that they're doing, both academic and outside of their academic studies, are very valuable in terms of their kind of skill set and their future employment prospects. So there are 3 stages of the Discover programme that they can achieve. Pass is the first stage, then merit, and then distinction. And the stage that students achieve depends on how many points they earn. Students earn points by completing activities under the different categories. So again, this is kind of differentiated in terms of the outcome that the student wants to get out of this. Even at pass level, this means that students will have had a really good look through each of the attributes and kind of got quite a good idea about where they're using those skills in their everyday lives and have reflected on that somewhat. We're hoping, though, that because this is quite a nice, succinct, easily achievable programme, that many students will then be tempted to go on to merit and distinction. Students do achieve an e-certificate, and this is sent automatically to them via email at the end of each stage, so that they will have something there to show for their achievement. So when students join the programme, we are actually working on the Discover branding at the moment. So where it says pass there, it won't look quite like that. It will be branded, but we will show you an updated version once we have it. When they start their Discover programme, they will see this, and there is a visual there that shows them quite clearly how many points they've already earned, how many activities they've completed, and also at the bottom there it tells them how many more points they need to achieve the next stage, so they can be aspirational in terms of the stage that they want to achieve. So as I said, we have taken the most commonly identified attributes on the UEA Award. We've had 6 years now of the UEA Award to learn from that and to learn which of the attributes students most commonly identify as the ones that they have honed through their everyday activities. We will have 5 attributes by the end of next year. The fifth one is digital skills and IT, but we're currently working with the library and the Digital Voyager team on that because we don't want to replicate the Digital Voyager program. They're currently updating that program and we are looking into incorporating that into Discover later on. So for now, for the next academic year, we will have these 4 attributes. So communication, teamwork and leadership, problem solving, and self-management and professionalism. Under each of these attribute headings, when they're clicked on, they will split into what we call sub-attributes, and I will show you an example of that on the next slide. And underneath each of those, there will be activities linked to those that students can complete to help them to reflect on how they're using that skill in their day-to-day lives. As you can see next to each attribute as well, it shows the students clearly the progress that they have made in each of those categories. So let's have a look at the attribute of communication. So let's say a student has clicked on that attribute. You can see that you then have a drop-down menu of what we call sub-attributes. They're the same sub-attributes that we have on the award, so it links quite nicely together. The first one then is public speaking and presentation skills, writing coherently and appropriately in different contexts, strategies for approaching challenging conversations, and then using social media effectively to build useful networks. We're very careful on the Discover programme to make sure that these subcategories are relevant to both academic elements of their lives, extracurricular, and also recruitment situations and employability skills as well. So, for example, public speaking, presentation skills. Obviously, that's something that a lot of students kind of feed back to us that they feel nervous about, that they don't really know how to approach, but they may be needing to use those skills in in their academic lives. If they're presenting something as part of their course, they may well have to do a presentation to apply for a volunteering role or a paid role. Lots of different areas of their lives in which this may be a valuable skill. So for each of these, there is a resource, and I will show you an example for the presentation skills one in a second. But at the bottom here, you can see it asks them to write a short paragraph to reflect on what they have learnt in this section. We ask them to use what we call the CARL structure that we use in careers and on the award. So context, the C is for context. What was the context of the activity? So what was it? Where did it take place? With whom, etc. A stands for action. So what did you actually do? R is what was the result of your action? So what happened as a result of what you did? And then L is learning. What did you learn from that? So what we ask them to do is when they've completed various activities under this category, we then ask them to reflect using that CARL structure, linking what they've learned to their day-to-day lives. So where might they use these skills? Where might they have used them already and not actually realise that they've used those skills? How do they feel they might what might they do next to hone those skills further? And here's an example of one of the activities. So this one is a short video about public speaking tips. There's a variety of people, as you can see in the photo there, all of them talking about their top tips on giving presentations, how to overcome nerves, how to project your voice, how to plan a presentation. Lots of nice kind of succinct, easily digestible tips. And then on the right hand side, there's a transcript as well. So these resources are accessible. Underneath, there is a section that says My Notes that they can click on, and they can type up just a few bullet points or notes if they find that useful to kind of record what they've learnt in this particular activity. And then when it comes to writing their reflection at the end of that category, they can go back to those notes and refer to them. So as I said earlier, at the end of each section, each stage, I should say, so pass, merit, distinction, students will automatically be emailed a certificate as they hit that stage. And they can do what they like with those. They can share them on a LinkedIn profile, they can share them wherever they like, and it's recognition that they have been through that stage of the programme. So one of the main questions that we've had to really ask ourselves is how do we differentiate Discover from the UEA Award? Why would a student complete Discover and then go on to do the award rather than say, well, I've completed a self-reflection programme now, I don't need to do anything else? So Discover is very much an entry-level program in terms of learning about self-reflection, introducing that skill, and kind of realizing why it's an important skill to have. The UEA Award goes much further than that and gives a lot more kind of feedback. They get to access more of our services, and it's just a much more in-depth program where they get further recognition. So hopefully this visual makes it clearer as to the differences between Discover and the UEA Award. It's important to say that the Discover programme is not going to be a prerequisite to the award. So many students may feel confident enough to go straight to the UEA Award and join that instead, which is absolutely fine. But in our experience, there's a large kind of cohort of our student body who don't feel confident to join the award and actually feel it isn't for them because they feel that that skill of self-reflection is too difficult, they feel that the award is going to take up too much of their time, etc. So there are lots of myths that we're trying to bust there, but we're hoping that by offering the Discover programme first, which is very achievable, they can work through at their own pace, and by introducing that basic skill of self-reflection in Discover, hopefully more students will then realise that actually the UEA Award is for them as well. So both Discover and the UEA Award introduce an attribute framework. The Discover programme is obviously a very basic attribute framework. The UEA Award, we have 10 attributes within that framework. So the UEA Award enables students to reflect much more on more attributes. Both enable honing of that self-reflective skill, but the UEA Award, we go into more depth. With the Discover programme and the UEA Award, we will be signposting to other services, the UEA Award much more so. So we are hoping that with the Discover programme, as we develop it further, that we will be able to kind of signpost to events and workshops that are going on if they are linked to some of the activities. With the UEA Award, we do that naturally anyway. So within the UEA Award, our students have to see a careers advisor. We encourage them to, speak to our mentoring team, to look at internships and placement opportunities, all of those things that we offer within Career Central, and we will be doing that to some extent with Discover as well. With both Discover and the UEA Award, students receive certificates. For the UEA Award, they get a lovely celebration event in the spring every year as well. The things that they won't receive with the Discover programme then, as well as certificates, we give out digital badges with the UEA Award at each stage, bronze, silver and gold. So students love to share those on LinkedIn, and then they kind of tend to write a bit of a paragraph about what they got out of the award, that they're proud that they've achieved it, etc. And it's more widely recognised. I think the main kind of added value, if you like, with the award is that feedback that students receive from employers, and we're getting more and more employers on board now, particularly working remotely, particularly employers who have that first-hand experience of working with graduates who are in the early stages of their career, which is really important to us, that they have that experience of working with students who have recently graduated. So they get feedback from employers at silver and gold stage. They also receive feedback on all of their submissions from the award team, and also from their on their career management progress submissions. They get feedback from our careers advisors in written form. We offer focus skills workshops, so we offer a workshop on making a video CV. We offer workshops that are introductory, talking about the attributes and how to identify where the attributes link into different activities. We also teach students how to articulate that and showcase their strengths to employers. So lots and lots of added value with the award, and Discover is very much that kind of introduction to self-reflection that students can do in their own time and hopefully build the confidence to then move forward to the award.